Most people are unaware that a city sits upon a treasure trove of cool energy that exists everywhere underneath the city, underneath the ground, in caves, everything around the entire earth. It just so happens that a city is pre-installed, already constructed subterranean infrastructure that gives you a pathway to that internal cooling and turns a city that's a generator of energy and heat, a converter, a generator of heat, into a heat sink when you tie this to the underground heat sink. Now, a heat sink, the second law of thermodynamics, takes heat to cold. You just simply have to connect the two by a connector, in this case a piping system made out of pipe, metal, that is configured with these internal to that. Okay? Now, once you know how to do that and are able to pull heat from the atmosphere utilizing now this two-part thermodynamic pump, you now create a generation system that draws heat energy out of the air and transmits out an emitter array of cooling energy into the atmosphere that you're drawing out of the ground. Now, one could take lots of expense to do this if they didn't know how. You all would probably use fans and use energy itself. We're talking about a free fuel energy alternative to that. Actually, a free fuel energy system that you haven't recognized, because any city that sits atop a pre-installed infrastructure of sewers, basements, parking lots, and that sort of thing, you're sitting on an acres of diamond mine of thermodynamic subterranean cooling that would eclipse anything you could do with evaporative cooling, pumping of water, and spraying of water in the air. A data system installed within a city changes everything about the city. The first thing it does, it brings in hope. It brings in opportunity. It ignites the imagination of children, because once you turn on the smile system within the eyes of children, their minds produce wonderful things. See, I'm not going to be doing this. They're going to be doing this. It's the children of the world that will regenerate the earth for everything we've done against it. See, if you count dollars, you can't do what makes sense. If you count dollars, you can't do what makes sense. However, in this world where energy and dollars are important, one must make economic sense so that you're fully aware of the advantages that you have overlooked. Get this back into the sun a little bit, okay? There we go. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Data centers are absolutely necessary for this explosion in AI and crypto mining that these people are doing with this thing, which isn't really what y'all do with AI, but they're not going to tell you anything different. Okay? So, therefore, to respond to the ecological damage that is caused by the proliferation, the scourge of data centers, okay, it is logical to take a data center and bring it into the city. But why didn't we bring a data center into the city in the first place? Because the customers, the data consumers, are right there in the cities. Okay? Yet the reason we have to put the data center out there is there was no cooling system for the data centers. Because all municipal water is being used for the livelihood and welfare of the citizens of the city. So you can't boil water in order to cool servers. And that's what happens when you take a data center and you put it out in a rural area. You basically have to rip apart the environment because you have to build out a campus. You have 2 or 3 years worth of construction. Then you have the installation of the equipment. Then you turn the thing on. When you turn the thing on, you start to evaporate water. You turn the thing on, you start to pull tremendous amounts of energy, 50 times per square foot what an industrial space will do. Well, the issue for servers, for computers, for data systems is the cooling. And the greatest source of cooling that exists is the heat sink infrastructure of sewers and underground infrastructure that is already inside, underneath cities for 100 to 150 years. You just simply have to tie together with stuff like this, piping systems. Now, one thing most people don't understand about data centers, okay, just a moment here, is the reason you have a data center is you want the data. You want the data fast, and you want the data efficient. The detriment to this essential mechanism that you want is the latency that comes with having a data center way out there. Okay, so you get it 50 miles from Richmond. What occurs is that the data has to go 50 miles round trip, 100 miles. 50 miles round trip, 100 miles. Just by putting a data center inside a city, next to the data consumers, okay, with say a 1 mile fiber run, makes the latency delay 100 times greater going from the city out and then back, okay, as opposed to within the city, within a mile or even blocks of the data consumers to the data center. Now, because the data center has an advantage of sitting on top of one of these, which is unlimited cooling, literally unlimited cooling. You can't overcome the second law of thermodynamics. You take a data center and put it in a city, and you can't heat it up hot enough that the ground can't take it away. Autonomously, ubiquitously, relentlessly, removing heat without even having to use mechanical means like fans, HVAC systems, and that sort of thing. Placing a data center inside a city is the most economical thing that you could possibly do, and it doubles, even triples the profits that the data center would generate. Because anybody who puts a data center in a city has that 100 to even 1,000 time latency advantage over a data center that's in a rural area. I'll close it with this. In Wall Street, they have they spend billions of dollars trying to make sure click over here gets over here, clicks over here gets over here faster. Because see, the faster the click gets compared to this guy who's got a traditional regular system, the faster the click goes, the more money this guy can make, the faster he can respond to computer trading. Well, the same thing exists for everything, whether it be video, whether it be data, whether it be processing, whether it be control. Latency is your key. That's why you have to put things close together. That's why they put data centers in big cubes or whatever. But you don't have to do that in a city. See, in a city, you can have a home here, a building there, parking lot there, dead space that's unused here, here, and here, and you can put a data closet here, a data closet here, data closet here, data closet here, and tie them together by fiber within the geo of the city. And what requires out there in a rural area a big huge campus that has to be cooled by water, and that a big huge campus that the public utility has to build out at billions of dollars infrastructures to support. You just plug it in right here to the existing infrastructure. You use the existing cooling that's right here. But most of all, you use the imagination of the children of the city to energize your planet, cool your planet, optimize your planet by appropriately using the pre-installed infrastructure that's already installed in your world.